Hi friends, I'm with Dr. SAI KAUSTUBH, 14th rank from Hyderabad, Usmania batch. This is a very good rank. This is a very good achievement. How are you feeling about it, Kaustubh?
Sir, I cannot express my emotions in words, sir. It's just out of the world feeling. Achieving such a rank in AIIMS and studying in AIIMS was my dream when I started medical profession, and I don't know. Somehow it just happened
No, it is not.
altogether.
Somehow you kept all your efforts and they are paying back now.
Yeah, so just culminated finally, and luckily, I
Yes. Yes.
hope
So,
I can study in such an
yes.
institution.
So how did you start your preparation? How it went on for the sake of the users, viewers? Can you just say about them?
Sir, for an exam like AIIMS, which concentrates more on the clinical aspects and your concepts, the most important thing I'll tell my users is the first 4.5 years you need to get basics. And then after that, once your internship completes, you have to start revising all of them and compact all your basics. You need not know everything in the subject, but there are certain things which you need to focus on, which the classes cover mainly. That is the role of the classes that they play. And with your knowledge, you're going to build on that, and you're going to build on the foundation that you have done in your 4.5 years.
That's
And then you're going to, you will be able to crack the exams or attend them.
So what was the role of DBMCI in your entire preparation?
Sir, I'll always remain indebted to DBMCI because I don't think it would have been possible without DBMCI. DBMCI is a great institute which has a very good vision about all the exams. They're planning, especially the vibe, the GCLT. The GCLT is placed ideally 45 days from the exam. So I knew whether I had to pace up or I need to focus more on the concepts which I've covered and all, and it helped me realize where I actually stand, because it's a where all the students all across the country participate, and you get a real time estimate, because in that exam situation it creates. And I the best thing about DBMCI is their papers, because the way the clinical questions are set up and the way they are asked, it is something similar to the main exam and something which I couldn't find in the books or the question banks. That's the and the faculty also is just amazing, sir. Like everyone has played a pivotal role in helping me crack this exam. Every point would have somehow come to my rescue during the exam that I learned. So,
I can say that all the faculty are good from my part, but do you have any specific mentioning about them?
sir, I'll say everybody has a very good way of teaching, especially Rajat sir. Take for the radiology, he makes it really conceptual. Let it be Ashwani sir for anatomy as well, or Tamim sir for medicine. Similarly, Jay sir for surgery. Or I feel everyone is really good, sir. You can't discriminate
Yes,
between
yes,
who's better
yes,
or
yes.
something, but everyone is will help you ultimately. It's a culmination of all the subjects. You can't differentiate into some are better or so, but everybody is just awesome, sir. That's this thing.
How was the schedule and the curriculum of the planning of DBMCA helped you into your exam?
So one thing I will suggest is that DBMCA will finish. The best thing is they finish 2 months prior, and at DBMCI Hyderabad, the best part was we had a subject-wise revamping program, and so I fine-tuned my preparation or just revision for those particular subjects for the exams, and then you had the mocks. So I had what do you call I had my own schedule as well, but according to the exam schedule, I used to plan out my revision for that particular subject, and the subjects which I'm weak at I used to revise, but at the same time the other schedule used to go parallelly.
I would like to ask one thing, we're mentioning exams. I think exams play a vital role. And how did you take your exams in that part? Like what was your planning for the exam and how you used to attempt the exam and all?
See, sir, what I believe is, whichever exam it is, on the day of the exam, it always starts from a zero. Everybody is starting from the same plane. And the most important part of any exam is the out of 300 questions, you said the 200 questions which form the basis or which are taken from the basics, which are there in everybody's notes, you can't miss them. And so I concentrated on those of them more, and then obviously to get a better rank you need to do something extra, but that comes only after you have done your basics well. Those 200 questions have to be done at any cost with minimum number of mistakes.
How about the content of the notes you got from the classes?
I think the classes, as far as possible, they try to cover everything, but you have to accept that there'll be a time constraint or something. So they cover 80 to 90% of what is required. The rest 5 to 10%, as you do MCQs, you will get, and you just need to add it on. It is something like a supplement, but the core is your notes. And your notes, you have to present it in such a way that it's easy for you to understand from it and revise from it. And everybody has their own way of personalizing their notes.
Yeah.
So that that's important. Notes are important. So.
During our conversation, I was particularly impressed by the thing that you said. The attempting, the number of questions you are attempting will play a vital role. Can I have just those things for my students?
Uh, See, sir, like, you have to evaluate an exam. I'll tell you, if it's an exam like AIIMS, where the first 150 questions carry only minus one third, uh, I prefer doing the section B first, because section B, for most of the questions, they are plus one, minus one, plus 0.2, minus 0.2. Those are the questions where you can't take a risk, because if you know four statements right out of five statements in a question, you're gonna get 0.8. But if you're gonna go for greed and you're gonna attempt the last one, you lose the 0.2 marks as well. You're gonna get 0.6. So the 0.2, 0.2, 0.2 in every question adds up, and in an exam like AIIMS, it goes on to be 2 to 3 marks, which will be 20 to 30 ranks difference.
Yes.
And if you're coming to NEET, as I already said, the first 200 questions which you know, which are from your notes, you need to answer them. And the last 100 questions, they will be related concepts. Maybe we would not have come across, but there'll be some point or some statement in the question which will give you an idea, rough idea about what they're asking. So some answer related to, you need to go for a risk in that case. But if it's something unrelated, then probably it's better to leave it aside. But attempting more is important, because if you're leaving out 50 questions, you're leaving out 200 marks. You're evaluated out you are evaluated out of 1,000. But if you're leaving only 40 marks, you're attempting out of 1,160. There are higher chances that you might get a better score.
Yeah, this should be the best strategy you have to follow while you are attempting the exam. So how about the vibe? How the vibe book helped you? How the all the vibe images helped you?
Sir, Vibe is a very well placed program that is done exactly in the middle of your preparation. So I think most of the people would have just read at least once through all the subjects by then. And Vibe helps you bring all the important images. And as far as this AIMS was concerned, there were 90 questions. So on image based questions.
Oh, that's
So, and an image gives you a direct diagnosis some of the times. You need not even know the exact conditions of the disease as well. And one more thing about Vibe is, you think it's the images, but the explanation, the points that you write underneath consists of all the important points in a subject, which at a glance you'll finish in an hour for a subject. And that helps during your just before the exam, 3 to 4 days and all. And that's a wonderful initiative by DBMCI, which I hope will continue, because it's definitely beneficial to
Yeah,
all
we
our
should.
students.
We'd be loving to continue it, and we'd be loving to improvise it with the inputs that you give us for the next batches. And actually, the GCLT program, which we conducted for you, that our motto is to simulate the final exam for you. How did you take that, and how it helped you?
So the GCLT, the mains was not yet done, but the GCLT, which was conducted like, so 45 days prior to the AIMS exam, my target was simple. A GCLT, you need to consider it as a mini AIMS or a mini NEET if you're targeting NEET. And your halfway score should be 100 marks more than what you're expecting. So whenever you go for a test, make a target. So if you want to score 900 or 1,000, you need to go 100 marks above. So that you reach at least the target that you want to, and then improvise. You'll understand a GCLT based on the GCLT gives you a subject wise analysis as well. So you'll understand the subjects you need to focus on, and GCLT will give you an idea of where you stand as well. So GCLT is important, and consider it to be a real exam. That's it. That much I'll suggest.
Because we wanted you to do every possible mistake in GCLT, and you should not repeat the same thing in the final exam. That should be the motto of taking GCLT. Finally, for the suggestions of your juniors and for your colleagues, Do you have any good suggestions for
I'll
that?
suggest some things which are the most important, which I found it difficult during my training period. Was the first thing, as you start off, you are not going to start off reading 12 to 14 hours as people say you need to read 12 to 14 hours. That's never the criteria. You need to put targets, daily targets, weekly targets, and you need to complete the portion. So the most important part is completing the portion. Some days it means spending only 6 hours, some days it means spending 10 hours. So the most important part is completing the portion. Don't worry if you're not able to concentrate. Only thing you have to worry is, are you getting done with the portion and you're reading it in a way that you can recollect or not? Point number one. Point number two, and the most important is, you need to explore the subjects as much as possible only during your first reading. You need to do as many MCQs. MCQs form the core. You need to make all the mistakes before you go to an exam, so that in the exam you don't make a mistake. That's the most important this thing. And you, when you bookmark the questions, when you're coming back to your revision, it has to be very, very compact, because 80% is from the notes, is from what you have read. The 20% I don't think anyone can prepare in this short span of time. So the bookmark questions which you have done from everywhere, and your revision that you have done, that forms the basic core at the end, which is most important. And the third and most important point which I'll suggest from my side is, keep giving the mocks. It does, even though you're not prepared, if you give the mocks, the subjects which you have not covered also, will cover the important questions. So when you go to a main exam, you know the important questions and the solution, though you have not done the subject so well. And don't get disappointed or disheartened by the results of the mocks or any online platform, because no test can stimulate the main test. Only thing is, you have to believe in yourself, and you will have worked hard, and obviously you will do really well in the main exam. Just be confident. I'm sure it'll work wonders.
What I understood is doing MCQs should be the core of the preparation.
Yeah.
Definitely, nobody should take it like that. If you read the subject and you're not doing MCQ, it is not like a complete preparation of the particular topic or subject. That's a great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you,
And wish
sir.
you all the best. Wish you a great future ahead.
Yeah. I'd like to thank the team of DBMCI again as well, because they have just been something. Ultimately, they made me realize my dream. So thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
And I hope you help others also get the seat that they want.
Definitely, definitely. It is our primary motto. That with the help of all your inputs and all those, we'll be doing better in the coming years.
Hopefully, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.